Hello, hi everybody. How's you doing this afternoon? It's Wednesday afternoon. I'm here live in the Crafty Bunch again, and I just like really miss being here in the Crafty Bunch lives. These events are so fun, and I don't get to come on like I like to. I know that I say that a lot lately simply because I see all the other girls doing stuff all the time, and I'm like, I want to be online too, but I just can't do it right now. I've got a work schedule and things that kind of get in my way. So, but anyway, I am happy to be here today. And I am part of this Pioneer Woman event going on in the Crafty Bunch. And I was excited about that because I like the Pioneer Woman style. Yeah, you guys know me. I like every style, but especially I love the colors and the whimsical textures of all that. And if you don't know what that is, and I'll explain it a little bit as we go along. But anyway, I'm happy that you're here, and I hope that you ladies and well, not just ladies, some guys like to watch this too, are in here and checking out this whole lineup today with all of the different things that the girls have been doing with the Pioneer Woman thing. So for those of you that are just popping on with me, I am crafting with Kim, and let me get up my comments here. I didn't see my comments. And I know Miss Mary from Crafts with Heart is just now finishing up, but I'm coming on just a little bit early and catching up with everybody and saying hello. And I'll be sharing with you. There we go, Angie. Thank you so much. Appreciate you sprinkling me into that crafty bunch. And there's a Facebook user. I don't know who you are, but that's okay. I work with StreamYard, and I don't know if anybody's familiar, but it's like a platform that but I pulled it up. Oh, Cindy. Hey, Miss Cindy. There we go. And we got Mary from the Painted Peach. Now I'm seeing anybody that has not really seen me much. I sometimes the Facebook, not Facebook, yeah, Facebook shows you as Facebook user with StreamYard unless you actually identify yourself with a little blue link for the first time. No worries, because I can see you on my phone too. So, hi girls, how's it going? How's everybody doing? Thank you so much. By the way, Mary, I really enjoyed your truck craft today. I was actually working, so I didn't get to see the finished product, but I'll go back and take a look at it. But I thought you and Adrena are troopers for going the extra mile, like literally, figuratively, going the extra mile and crafting in your vehicles. That's pretty cool. Hey, Miss Terry, how are you? Hey, it's good to have you here. Terry, Terry, did you get your heart? Did you get your little heart pendant that I sent you? Hopefully you guys got those. I think I sent them out last week. Everybody should have arrived. I made like these little pendants for people. So some of the people that were watching me, and I know it's been once again about a week or so since I've been on, but okay. So today, like I said, it's Pioneer Woman Day, and yeah, I'm sporting my little pioneer bandana. I'm a bit of a pioneer woman, I would say. A lot of people told me that I can live off the grid and camp and live in a tent for 6 months, like by choice. I can definitely be a pioneer woman. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you got it, Terry. Like I said, it does have a little piece of wire in the top part, so you don't feel like you can't put it on something because it should hold up pretty good as far as like putting it on a necklace or whatever, how you want to do it. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So the Pioneer Woman. First off, does anybody actually know much about the Pioneer Woman? Hey, Lena, Tomato, how's it going, girl? Are you guys familiar? Do you ever watch her cooking show? Did anybody actually know her real name, by the way? I've never really watched cooking shows that much, even though I love to cook. But I mean, she's pretty much all over the place. She's got a huge marketing campaign going on with all of her beautiful dishes and her homewares. And now I am not restarting my, it's telling me to update my computer. Are you kidding me? I'm not doing that. I'm in the middle of a live. Hey, Lydia, hey girl, how's it going? Lydia, oh my God, you had me rolling yesterday with your curlers and your mask. And I'm like, oh, you are definitely, you got my vote, girl. You're so funny. I love watching you. All right, ladies. So, like I said, Pioneer Day. Oh, you never watched her? Well, like I said, I haven't really watched her either. I've caught little snippets here and there, but I do love the designs and the dinnerware. I actually have some of her little bowls and things like that. So speaking of bowls, today I thought I would do something a little bit more functional. I noticed a lot of people are doing. Yeah, I got a scam on my phone. I got my computer telling me to like go update my Please, guys, leave me alone for now. Brad, Rita, Harms. Hey, Brad, I've never have you on my site before. I don't think. If you're a first timer, say hello. Appreciate it. And like I said, if you haven't followed me, I really appreciate it. Just tap around my nose somewhere, see the three little dots, and give me a follow, give me some hearts, likes, all that great stuff. But for those that are newbies, I work basically with clays, polymer clay generally. I did get some foam clay. I'm gonna start working with that a little bit. But today's project is going to be an actual functional bowl. I'm going to show you how you can use polymer clay um, to actually make a functional little colander bowl. It's going to be a flower bowl, but it'll be something that you can definitely actually use. So what I'm going to do here is, oh, first time. All right, good to have you. Like I said, I really appreciate you, and I hope you like what I do, and you're watching the Crafty Bunch girls. Make sure you refresh after you're done with me. By the way, after me is Jan Hauser, Find Again Finds Too. She's my bud. I love her stuff. I love all these girls, but I end up buying everybody's stuff on auction, and I bought a few things from Jan because I really like her things. So there you go, Cindy. I can see you now on the StreamYard. Yay, good deal. All right, so I'm going to take you down on my table because it's kind of close work, and I want you to be able to see what's going on here. So you won't see my face much until the very end. Of course, as you have questions, please just let me know if you have anything about polymer clay, and I'll be sure and answer those. Let's see if I got switched over here. All right, so there we go. All right, so what have I got going on here? My camera, it does this little in and out autofocus. Hopefully it won't be too bad as I'm working. But so what we're going to do, like I said, this is, we're going to be doing a lot with this. This is the baked version. This is not the end product, okay? This is just where it's in a raw state right now. We're going to be painting this up and whatnot. So, but it's a little bowl that I actually made from a slump. I'm going to show you how to do all that. I'm going to slump it, and it's going to have little feet and whatnot on it. So this is the hard version that I've baked already. But I'm going to walk you through the basic steps of how I got this far, and then we'll switch to this one, and I will show you how I'm going to paint it up, and I'll end up refiring it and whatnot, but I'm going to show you how it works when you do the painted version. Since this is a baked clay, I have to kind of do it that way so you can get an idea of what I'm doing. All right, so first off, you got to think what kind of bowl you want to make. When you're doing any kind of something like this, there's two ways that you can work with polymer clay to create a bowl. You can either do it, I took this little bowl here, this is one I used, and you can either what's called a slumping method when you put it over the top like this, or you can do it inside. Either way, this one, it is 6 1/2 1 dozen. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you're doing it this way, generally your outside is going to get more of your decoration. If you're doing it, you're going to put it on the inside, then of course, you're going to do something on the inside. I kind of debated which way I wanted to do it. So can you get the clay wet? Yes, you can. That's one of the reasons why I use the polymer clay with this one, because you can actually use, you can put a little bit of like room temperature cold, like faucet water. You don't want to reheat it in the microwave or anything like that because they'll activate with heat, but a little bit of warm water. But usually I thought this is going to be like a cool little colander for like little berries or very small little things that maybe you need to rinse off or something. I thought it would be kind of cute for that. That's what I'm going with. But yes, once it's baked, you can actually use it. I've got some things that I've made in my bathroom that I put in like a little soap holder and whatnot. And it sits in the shower all the time. All right, so primarily what I'm going to be doing here, though, now, has anybody ever seen, you can actually attach things to glass. You can put a veneer around it, and it will stick to the glass pretty good. I've got mugs and things and wine glasses I've created like that. But for this part, for this particular thing, I don't want this to stay inside my bowl. I want it to come out. So how do you do that? Well, you can see she got the little sticky. I didn't take it out of there because it didn't matter because I'm going to be putting some more clay in it. But the way you need to do this, you need to have a little bit of a release agent, something that will actually, you can pull the clay out. All right. So best thing to do with that is just a little bit of mineral oil, just a very, very light. I'm not going to do it because I don't need it because I'm only going to be showing you an example on this. A little bit on your fingers, rub it just like you would any kind of pan, like you're getting ready to bake. You just make sure you get it nice and coated in there, but not heavy, just a little bit. Okay, so you do that first. And then after that, before you put the clay in there. So first off, you have to determine what kind of bowl you're going to use. Then you have to determine what you're going to do. Hey, Terry, how's it going, darling? So on this one, what I chose to do like I said, was like a little flower idea inside. And this is my template that I kind of draw. You can see that the oils from the clay it's been sitting for a couple of days, so it's kind of soaked up into the paper. But this is an oil-based plastic clay, so that's why that happens. So anyway, when you're doing this, you can't just cut it the actual shape of the bowl and put it in there, because it's going to be too short. Unless you want it to be a little bit smaller inside here, that's fine too. There's so many different varieties of way you can do it, but I wanted to make this a little bit on the larger side. So what I did is I took a plate here that's a little bit bigger diameter than the actual, and it's like an inch, maybe an inch bigger. Oh, well, no, that's almost 2 inches, inch and a half bigger than what my bowl is. And then I made a template from that. But it doesn't matter. I'm going to be cutting a little bit of this away probably I will be, as I had to kind of like play with my idea here, my sample. First thing, so you basically got your template. I drew it out kind of how I wanted. Now what I'm going to do, and of course, like I said, real quick, like I'm working with the beige. This is a Super Sculpey. It's Super Sculpey. Okay, it is a firmer clay. The regular Sculpeys or some of your other clays, they will do okay. But when you're doing anything that's going to be held up like this for like a bowl, something a little bit more strength, this is a little thicker too because I want it to be a bowl, then it's better to use this Super Sculpey because it's firmer and it stands up better and it's easier to work with. The other stuff has a tendency to be a little bit too sticky and it's too floppy as far as I'm concerned. All right, so I pretty much got my little chunk here. I've got it rolled out on my roller. I did all that. I pre-did all that, and I've got it to size. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut my circle out first. And then once I do that, I'm not worried about it being real accurate because as I put it inside the bowl, I'm going to be cutting away some of this and kind of manipulating it with my fingers and whatnot, kind of forming it into petals. But where do you get your clay mainly? Well, Terry, interesting question. A little bit everywhere. If you want to go to like box stores, you can find it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. They carry it. Sometimes I kind of chop around depending on the price. This particular clay here is, to me, one of the more expensive of the polymer clays just because it's a little bit more high end. It's not too bad. It's about, well, actually, I found the site on Amazon, and if you want, I can give you the link to my wish list, and I can send that to you if you want to look. But I can get like 3 bricks. They're called the bricks, the 1 pound bricks, for about $30. So that's not too bad. That's like $10 a brick. It was going up there for a bit with all this crazy madness of COVID and all the things jamming up, but it's kind of gone back down. So you don't want to spend more than maybe, I wouldn't spend more than maybe 13, 14 at the max on a brick of this caliber. The other ones that I use a lot, the Michaels brands with the coupon and whatnot, you can get that for around $10 a brick, and that's for 1 pound. Okay, so you can see here, yeah, I'll send it to you. Just remind me because I might forget. Private message me and tell me you want me because I can send you my Amazon link. I've got all my clay stuff that I order off Amazon in that wish list, and you can go take a peek and see what I got. All right, so I got that cut out. Now what I want to do is I want to cut the actual, I thought of it, you can slump it in there, but it becomes a bit of a hot mess. So what I'm going to do is I need a bit of a guideline here, so I don't want to cut through my paper. I could actually do that since I'm not going to use this again probably. But I'm going to go ahead and just create like I'm basically drawing on the clay. I'm just giving myself a guideline. I'm going to do this, and I think I said I was going to cut it in not fourths, but I think I'm going to cut it in eighths because I want to be able to put my petals in there. I think that's how I did the petals in this one. I kind of did them. And like I said, when you get in there and start playing around with it, you can sort of like get a feel for how you want to do it. But I'm just kind of taking my stylus here and just giving me a little bit of a marking to go on when I'm actually going to cut it. So you might not be able to see that, but there's like a little pie shape going on there, like cutting out a pie. All right, and then after that, what I'm going to do is go ahead and cut this down. Now I can use my tissue blade, which I'm going to do. If you don't have a tissue blade, then you can just use your X-Acto knife and cut it. But this makes it a little bit faster and it's cleaner. And these things are like mega sharp, so you got to be careful. Am I upside down with it? No, I'm because I've sliced my finger once with this thing, just cleaning it actually, and it was like, dang, that's not fun. So yeah, like I said, the clay is something that I just am absolutely in love with it, and I find it to be one of the most versatile things that I've ever worked with. Like I said, I say this a lot. I've been a crafter for, and teaching art and crafts for 30 plus years, and I don't know. I just kind of rediscovered clay, especially the polymer clay. Um, Maybe a year and a half ago at this point, and I just pretty much stuck with it. It kind of challenges me to try to figure out how to create things that other people are doing, but do it in a clay form. And I just like doing sculpting anyway, so I think that's one of the reasons why I love it too. But it's really fun. I am going to be giving away a few of my clay courses today. I have that little video clay course that I have, and if anybody is interested later down the road, I'll tell you what we're going to do to so you can win that. Okay, so now I think all my pieces are pretty much cut. So the best way, like I said, you could lay it all in there, but it becomes a bit of a hot mess. So make sure that you, like I said, you got your bowl with your mineral oil in there, and then I'm just going to start placing these in here. Okay, and you'll find that you have to kind of manipulate them a little bit, but you want to overlay it. Here's a couple. This stupid thing keeps calling me. It's like a scam. I get a scam call on my phone. It's come up like 3 times, and I don't want to take time to block it because I have to mess with my phone. But anyways, anybody else get scam calls? Oh my God, those things drive me nuts. I guess it's because I'm always doing things on Facebook, I mean online, and I'm putting my number out all the darn time, but I get so many of those things. They're so frustrating. Anyway, so make sure when you're doing this that you're pressing it down pretty good, because you can see through the back of this, and you want to make sure, now when you got the oil in here, you might get a little bit more of a pocket, but you can kind of sort of see pockets. You might get a little bit of that, but you don't want too much of that, because the pocket is going to create like a little bit of a bubble-ish sort of effect when your piece is finished. It'll kind of like look like a little bubble, but this one actually did pretty good. There's maybe a little piece there, but it's not too big. And once you get it painted up, it's okay. I mean, I am not a total perfectionist when it comes to that. I know spam calls, don't they? They're awful. I can't stand them. I get so frustrated. I'm totally blocking them all the time too. And it's like, here they come again. Here they come again. All right, so I'm basically, what you want to do, like I said, I'm just overlaying this on top one and the other. It's like a flower petal. Examine the flower petal. Like, look at it. It kind of overlays on top of itself generally. And I'm going to be painting this one kind of like a red poppy-ish, even though this isn't, I think this has a few more petals than a poppy. But, that's kind of the look that I wanted to go with. So you'll be seeing me paint it up. As soon as I get this part done, we're going to switch to the one that's already baked, and I'll be showing you how I did that. You know what? One thing I wanted to do here is I realized I needed to kind of show you, I needed to kind of more center it like that, do my force, and then do it on the other side and kind of fill them in from there, because I think it works better. So let me do this again. So what I did is put it in here. Make sure you press them down real good. And like I said, don't do what I do. Do it in the force first. Let me move this one out. The one thing that's nice about this too is it's not as sticky as some of the other clay. It doesn't stick to itself as bad until you fire it. So if you do this kind of number and you get it squared away like that, and then you press it down, don't worry so much if that's not all the way in the center. You're going to be putting a little centerpiece in there. All right, so we're going to put this one like right there. And if it's not all the way to the top, don't worry about it. Once again, this clay is flexible, and you can just bend it and mold it to your liking. All right, so we got that. Then we're just going to go ahead and put the other pieces on top. And if you want to add or take away, matter of fact, I'd already want to take away a little section here because it's a little too big for me, then I'm just going to do that number, and you just kind of play with it how you like your petals to look. And once you're pressing it in here too, it's going to be a bowl, but petals have a little bit of shape to them. You can make it a little bit where it's not so uniform looking. And once we get them all in there, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay that one in there like that over top of that. How is everybody today? Everybody having a good day? It's a hump day, Wednesday. You enjoying it? I am enjoying. We got over our little cold snap here in Florida. It was a little bit chilly for us. I mean, 50 degrees. But it's warming up. It's beautiful, sunny. It's going to be like, it's almost 80 today. It's going to be 80 plus tomorrow. Yes, thank you very much. I'll take it. All right, so that one's, man, why is that one acting up on me? I got me have to move her that little bit. All right, I'll figure that one out in a second. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put these. I'm just kind of, like I said, just layering these in here and making sure I get them. And once I get them in here, then I'll just kind of work with them and press them in to get them to where they fill in a little bit. I've been playing with plaster, but clay would be easier. You know, plaster is something that I know a little bit about too. I used to do quite a bit with plaster. I used to actually create plaster life castings with real people, with humans, and make silicone castings and whatnot. I used to be a stagehand in Vegas, and we worked with plasters occasionally. And I keep saying that I need to do like some plaster tutorials because it'd be something different than using the clay. If I could ever get myself online enough to be able to get through all the projects I want to get through, that would be nice, huh? So I think what I'm going to do is just add this other little extra piece that I've got in here, and just kind of fill that in. And I'll fill it in a little bit too with the gaps here in a second. And this one overlaps somewhat, so I'm going to take a little bit of that out. Just a little bit of that section there. All right. So what have you done with plaster, Terry? Tell me some of your projects. Anybody out there ever played with clay or any kind of clay type, you know, besides just your regular Play-Doh? You know, Play-Doh is something I'm sure we've all experienced as a kid or played with our grandkids or whatever. So, okay, so right now you can see I've got all my pieces in there, and I'm just going to kind of just place them. I'm going to put that extra little piece in here and work it in there because I got to fill in a little spot. Now, if you were to slump this over, I mean, not slump, but drape. Excuse me. This is called slumping. I got my terminology messed up. This is actually a slumping technique. When you put it over the bowl, that's called draping. Okay. This is called a slumping. And has anybody ever like actually played with clay or ceramics or anything to do with that? I'm just kind of curious because, like I said, I love it. I think it's such a fun thing to do. I'm not too worried about the center, like I said, because I've got my little center that's going to go in there for that. But I'm just kind of working these petals to get them to where they're look like flower petals, so to speak, and closing them up. This piece here, like I said, I'm not going to fire it. I'm just showing you the basic idea because I'm going to switch to the other piece here soon, and we can do all the painting and try to finish it off. And like I said, I will end up refiring that other piece for the sake that I want it to be. I want the paint to be baked in. If it was something that was just decorative or sanding up, I wouldn't care about baking it. I would just let it sit on my shelf, and I wouldn't worry about it. All right, so one thing I did want to mention too that I forgot to mention before I started sticking this inside the bowl is this: you have to be pretty much aware of the thickness that you want to use. I don't like that piece. I'm going to kind of maneuver that one out here. Of what you're doing with the bowl as far as your thickness goes is what I'm trying to say, because your thickness, it needs to be a little bit on the thicker side for a bowl to be able to have some structure to hold up on itself. So you don't want it to be like super thin when you roll it out. And I'll show you that real quick. Basically, what I did was take these guys here. These were rulers from the Dollar Tree. And I rolled it out with my rolling pin, the clay in between it, to keep it the thickness of the rolling pin, to keep it an even thickness. And so that's how I got that thickness. I meant to show you that. That's why I had these here, because you want to keep it on the thicker side. You don't want it to be like a big bowl that's all flopped out and everything. So I'm just going to work this in here, and then I'm going to create my little flower lines in here, put the center on, and then we're pretty much going to be good to go. In this one, as you can see, since I want it to be a colander, an actual functional colander, you can see I put holes in it. You can use I found the best thing to do is you can use your dowel. You can use a stylus if you have it too. But since it's kind of long, I found the dowel. You can actually, the back end of it works pretty good because it's a bigger hole. And you can just punch your little holes with the dowel that way if you wanted to get that colander effect. Get out of there. I don't like you. All right, so then at this point, I'm just kind of playing with it a little bit, to tell you the truth. I'm kind of getting it molded in there to kind of look like a flower shape and all that. So once I get them in there, I'm going to start getting the flower design in there. Hold up, I got this one little spot that's bugging the poop up on me. All right, make sure, like I said, you look back here. It's looking pretty good on the outside. There's no like real pockets or anything like that. Press your fingers in, okay? Then we got that. Oh, yeah, you learned. Yeah, isn't there just such a cool variety of crafters in here and talented artists? I mean, there really is. Always looks fun to me. You know what? It is fun, Jan. I know you guys ought to give it a try. I know you guys do your own thing, but it's so fun. But anyway, for the petal tops, I'm just kind of pressing them out to make them look kind of soft and flowery. You know, I don't want to be super hard lines. And then, you know, I kind of created this little flower line inside here. And all I did with that was just take my stylus, probably a smaller on the thinner stylus like this. And then you just go and you create these little lines inside. Give it like a flower petal look. And then once I get that done, then we're going to switch to putting the little inside in, and we'll switch to the one that's already baked. Now there's lots of different flower designs, and you can do you know, petals that are more pointy on the end, you know, like sunflower petals and whatnot. But I wanted this to be a full bowl, and that's why I'm doing a real full petal that, you know, that flares out to the very end. And I'll tell you, I'm in a bit of a hurry, so I'm not doing it as clean as I would probably do it. Well, I know I'm not doing it as clean as I would probably do it, because I would spend more time getting my things pressed in. And if you're doing it on your own, you'll see what I'm talking about. But you can also, what's kind of cool is once you get your little lines in there, you go through and do all these little lines like this first. Is you can go back, if your petals aren't looking exactly the way you want them to look, see, you're kind of getting a little bit of a petal shape now, okay? But you can go back, and you got little boogers in there. I usually kind of try to, you know, kind of clean those out with your hands, because they will kind of sit. But if not, you can always, those kind of come out pretty good once it's baked. But see, you got a little bit of a petal shape going on. But still, if you're not happy with that, like some of your petals are a little bit funky, then I like to use these little guys. Where's my one flat one that I'm trying to find? These are like little silicone tips. Can't find the one I'm actually looking for. Anyway, I'll try to pick this one here real quick. But I have one that's just like totally flat on both sides. But you can use these little silicone guys and kind of create more of a petal shape. And it's nice because you're not using your fingers. Get in there and create your dimension and kind of work with it that way. And that what kind of really helps it kind of separate those petals and look more like a petal. You know what I'm talking about? And if you don't like, if you want to create another petal in this one, you could draw a line in there and create a petal like that. I think you pretty much have the idea, right? Okay, so the next thing though is to cut out. I didn't leave a piece here for that, but that's all right. I'll just put these two back together. Now I've got a little centerpiece in here. You can see that. And that's nothing but simply, I'm just going to roll this out real quick because I was going to leave a little piece for that. And oh, you know, someday. Yeah, everybody says someday. Come on, Jan, just give it a try. Give it a try, girlfriend. It's fun. It's easy. It's not that hard to do. You'll get hooked, though. I'm telling you, that's the problem. You'll start doing it, and then you'll want to do more, and then like, well, I gotta paint and I gotta craft and I gotta do my my rustic stuff and my grunge, and the next thing you know, it's like I don't know what to do. That's me. I'm being silly, guys. All right, so I'm just taking my little brayer. I got my little guy. I'm just rolling this out enough so I can get a little bit of a circle cut out of this. I can put it in the center. So I've got this circle cutter here. There you go. That pops right out. And that's going to go right in the center, cover up all those nasty burgers. Plus, it looks good. I said burgers. I'm going to say boogers. Burgers. Maybe I'm hungry. Thinking about something. Oh, my gosh, guys. Speaking of food. All right. So the Pioneer Woman, I mean, that's her thing, right? She's a really famous online chef. She prepares food. She prepares country food. I wanted to ask you guys. Let me see, Terry, what do you guys say? That's how I am. What else can I say? Craft, paint, exactly. It's like a little bit of everything. You know, what do you want to do today? But okay, so Pioneer Woman. What's her name again? Anybody ever give me that? I didn't see that in my comments. Let me go up here. Does anybody know the Pioneer Woman's actual name without looking it up? 55 here and used to nice form. I'm gonna have to go back and look at some of these comments I'm missing. Missing some of these guys. I'll go back and check them out, guys. But anybody know her actual name? I actually had to look it up to tell you the truth because I didn't know her name either. But, you know, it's good to know her name, I guess. Anyway, she's beautiful. A tall, well, I don't know if she's tall, but she's got that beautiful red, oh, that flaming red hair. Oh, those dimples. She's just a beautiful woman. It's right. It's actually Ree, Ree Drummond. Drummond, excuse me. Drummond. No, I'm saying it right. Drummond. Okay. Reed Drummond. Yeah. Does anybody watch her? Anybody watch her cooking show? Curious. Like I said, I don't know. I catch cooking shows here and there because I work with home care seniors sometimes, and sometimes they're watching things like that, and I watch them. So I just put an extra little bump inside there, little bowl in there to kind of give it a little extra centerpiece. And then let me see. I took a stylus. I think I put a little dot on there. There you kind of create that little guy like that. Okay, press it down real good. In there, you don't want the one thing, you know, is since it is going to be a functional item, I didn't want it to be too have too many things underneath, like an undercut, so that things would get stuck underneath there and whatnot. You'd be able to clean it out. But if you're just running water in here for like a little cleaning berries or something really light, it'd be all right. Okay, so the next thing, you got your basic flour guy going on here, and yeah, it's Ree Drummond. Ree is her name, Ree. But yeah, like I said, I think she's beautiful. Anyway, talking about food and all that, um, what is a person? I'm from the South, so I'm all about country food, and I guess she's pioneer, so she probably does a lot of things like that as far as her cooking recipes and whatnot. And I was just curious, anybody else? Well, not anybody else. I mean, what's your favorite country food? What's your favorite country type food, meal, whatever? Mine's probably collards and cornbread, anything like squash. I love me some collards and cornbread, though. I'll tell you that straight up. I don't even care so much about the meat. I can just eat vegetables all day long. Matter of fact, I used to be a vegan for many years. So you can see now, if you're going to do the colander, I'm just taking this stylus, and or if you don't have that, you can use one of the, what is this called? This is called a skewer again, and poke it in the back of the skewer. I found that you want to do it, make sure you get it all the way through and kind of open up your holes like that so they're big enough, because I did test this one to make sure the water was going to flow through it. And I had to go back and open up the holes on the back end of it after it baked, to make sure that it would flow through well enough. But it has been tested with water in it already. All right, so anyway, that's what you're getting. You guys, beans and cornbread. There you go. Girl after my heart. I love beans, but they don't love me. You know what I mean? But I love some beans. All right, so I just punched a bunch of hole in there. You guys get the idea. All right, so that's basically how you will bake it. Fried chicken, steak, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Debbie, ooh, that sounds good, girlfriend. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have never made these before. I've never been much of a fried food person, but I'm working with these older clients, and they want me to cook a lot. I made homemade chicken tenders for the first time today. They were freaking amazing. I'm like, what? It was so easy. I couldn't believe it. But the thing was to use cornstarch in the mix with the flour, and also a little bit of cornstarch in with the egg beating process. And I'm like, oh my God, it made them like crunchy, chewy, amazing. I'm like, I got to make these now. Okay, so we got the bowl bubble. You want to bake this sucker just like this on a baking, like an oven baking dish for, let's see, probably a good hour. That's what I did mine, because you want it to be really nice and hard, and you can always rebake it. Hey, Jeannie, thank you for sprinkling. I really appreciate that, ladies. But yeah, you want to bake this for a good hour, and even if you want to rebake it, you can. But after about a good hour, it's pretty decent. So that's that. All right. So after that's done and it's baked and it's cooled down, you let it cool down for about 15 minutes. Sometimes you might have to take like the edge of a butter knife, and you can kind of run it around the edge like that, and the darn thing, like that, and it'll kind of pop out, because you've got that mineral oil in there. If you didn't have the mineral oil, that sucker's going to want to it's going to want to stick to the bowl. It'll be a little bit harder to get out, and you could possibly break it. So you got to remember to have a release agent. or something like this. Unless you're wanting to keep it in the bowl, which you could do too. You could have it just a solid bowl like this. And then you could do the outside of the bowl. I've done just the outsides like that. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to take the one that I've already baked, and we're going to paint it up and jazz it up. And then I'm going to rebake that cookie because I need to put it back in there. And like I said, if I wasn't going to use this as a functional item, I wouldn't care about baking the paint in it, but I want it to be something that's actually baked into the clay. And so that's why I want to, oh yeah, the cornstarch. Well, I just went to Pinterest. I found that on Pinterest. I need something quick and easy. And I'm like, cornstarch, that makes total sense because it kind of binds them together, makes it crunchy. And it was the best. I'm telling you. I'll send you the Pinterest recipe if anybody wants it because it took me like 10 minutes to make these things. I'm like, what? This is easy. Okay, so bowl. Get my colors out. If a person wanted to, I always say this, if you're not into painting your clay, you could buy your whatever colors you want because it comes in a multitude of colors. You can make your own colors, everything you want to do. But I love to paint things sometimes, so I'm going to go ahead and paint it. And sometimes I just like to get the colors I like. So basically what I'm going to do is, like I said, it's going to be, let me look at to tell you the truth, I got my Pinterest pulled up. I have a bit of a reference. Okay, I'm trying to remember what I'm going to do here. Okay, so what I'm going to do I'm going to do a little bit of red and orange, and it's going to have some turquoise going on there, a little bit of white. I've got this idea in my head, and hopefully it'll come to me the way I want it to. But like I said, if you weren't going to use this, if you're still going to be decorative and you're just going to put any kind of little dry things in it or whatever, I wouldn't stress too much about actually baking it again. You could just paint it like a regular ceramic and be done with it. But I do want to paint it. Let me see. I think I want to do do I want to do the center first? No, I'm going to go do my orange first. So I'm going to do like a little bit of an orange on the inside. Yeah, that, like I said, that cornstarch chip is really cool. I'm just going to, and I sometimes, depending on the clay color, you might need to repaint it over again, depending on, what your coverage is. And I'm using acrylics, so anybody who's worked with acrylics, they're very user-friendly. You can just paint right over them. The reason I'm doing it this way is because I'm going to be kind of working my paints out from my edges with my red, and I wanted my lighter color first. In the center, it's going to be like a aqua, like a light aqua color, or not really turquoise, but more of an aqua. So I wanted to kind of give it that effect. All right, so I'm going to do that. And then I'll go ahead and take my red and paint it out from there. And then I'll paint the outside of it too. I was thinking I'm going to do the outside in the aqua is what I think I'm going to do. I'm not even worried about cleaning my brush here, guys. I'm just going to use this because I'm kind of working it out like this. Okay. It's kind of fun to paint three-dimensional objects. You guys like painting three-dimensional objects? Are you more of a 2D painter, or do you care about painting at all? Anybody like to paint? Jan, I know you're a painter. You like to paint. I don't paint as much as I used to. I used to do murals and custom things for people, and I kind of miss painting sometimes, but I love my clay so much that I don't even hardly paint much anymore. It's pretty sad. But, I asked my daughter one day what she thought she liked best of my skills, my creating skills, and she says painting. And I was actually surprised. I thought she was going to say the clay. She's like, no, I like your paintings. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't even paint that much anymore. So the painting really, really brings it out. I mean, you can just really, paint. Obviously, painting changes everything, whether it be a house or anything you're repainting. You guys enjoyed all the characters today, all the really cool stuff. I liked Mary, so I liked them all, actually. I said I didn't get to see the very first in the beginning. I worked until 12. I was kind of trying to catch a little bit in between my chicken tender preparation. I was in the kitchen with these folks. I was trying to look and watch, and I didn't get to see it all, but I tried to catch as much as I could. But I have to go back and look. But I did see Mary right before me, Crafty Mary. I liked her little idea, the little recipe holder thing. That was pretty cool, a little note holder. I like to paint out of the things. I don't know. I just got in the habit of doing that. Anybody else paint out of their lids like I do? I guess it's because I think I'm too cheap about wasting paint. I put it on the plate, and I feel like I'm just use it up too much or something. So, It's me, Jan, on hubby's phone. Oh, okay, cool. So Alan is your husband. Oh, I see Hauser. I see the last name. Yes, you do love to paint. I know. I see you paint. You're a great painter too. All right, so I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to get this thing painted up here. I'm doing pretty good on time. I love it when we have the hours because, especially with me, I always have so much detail going on. And I know some people, like, they might get a little bit like, yeah, I got to watch you a whole hour. I don't watch an hour. That's a long time to watch. But, I mean, I know everybody's got things to do. I can't always watch every single thing that I want to watch too, but I try to catch as much as I can. All right, so it's starting to come together already. See, you put that paint in there and it starts coming alive. I'm going to add some more detail to it, put a little black in there and get it looking like something, something. But one thing you got to keep in mind when you're painting things like this is to get in your little side crevices because you can see that you can't see it until you like turn it a certain direction. You're like, oh, I missed a spot. All right. So yeah, like I said, once I rebake this, this paint will fire right in here. And yeah, you'll be able to actually use this as a functional item. I'm going to put some little feet on it in a second once I get the outside painted up. All right, so I think what I need to do here is kind of work that yellow in with that red real quick, and then I'll paint my center. Um, paint, yes, I paint out of the lids when yeah, I know. I don't know, it's just a habit I developed, Terry, painting out of the lids. Just years of painting, and I just kind of do it that way. So I'm just going to go back here and just trying to blend this and see if you guys can see what's going on there. So see, I'm just kind of trying to blend my colors together now to make it look so it like it kind of graduates from one to the other. It's going to turn a little bit orange, but I kind of like that idea, blending the two together. Okay. And it's like I said, it's sort of like it's a stylized poppy. This is kind of a stylized poppy flower. Poppies, I examined them. They have a few less petals than what I got going on here, but hey, it all works. Yeah. Oh, hey there, Miss Melanie Lamb. How are you, darling? I caught a few minutes of you doing your little thing last night with your owl. That's so cute. I love your little draw-alongs. Like I said, I wish I lived close to my grandson. I would do that with him because he likes to draw, but he's so far away. It takes me 45 minutes to drive to his house. I need to do that one night, though, just for fun of it. All right, so this is going to have a little bit of aqua in here. I think the whole thing's aqua. How cute, huh? Cute little bowl. Gonna come to life. So you guys still getting hit with snow up in your cold countries? I'm telling you, I'm loving it. I'm sitting here staring out my roll top of my shop with looking at the beautiful sunshine and the cemetery across the street and all the dead people. Yeah, I live across the street from a cemetery. Somebody actually had a funeral today. I always get sad when I drive by and I see them with the funerals. They set up for those things and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I love your stuff, Mel. I love all you girls. You guys are rocking it. It's so good. All right, so that I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and then I'll zhuzh that up a little bit. Then I'll throw a little bit of a little black accent. Right now, I'm gonna switch to the outside. I'm gonna paint the outside real quick, and I'll probably end up putting 2 coats on that, depending on my time. What I want to do, I will show you how to put the little feet on there, but I wanted to do. Here, let me paint this up and then I'll show you what I wanted to do. I wanted to put like a little pattern on the outside of this too, not just a solid blue. And I had some ideas. I thought about actually making a pattern out of clay, rolling something on there and impressioning it and all that. But I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do like a painted pattern on there. And I was thinking like the best and quickest way to do that. And I found these little guys, which some of you guys might have procured from the dollarish store at some point. One thing too about the clays, when you bake them, you might not be able to see this as much, but yeah, you can. Like, see, it's kind of shiny. Whenever you bake it inside something like a glass or whatever, you get that real shiny feel. It feels really smooth and shiny because I don't know, something to do with the way it attaches to the glass or something like that. But it comes out real shiny when you bake it in with it next to a piece of glass. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh, okay. So I did want to do a little fun thing, like do a little bit of giveaway. I know some of you are, if you are interested in my little clay course, I have that little 12 video clay course that will walk you through like how to get started with polymer clay. It's 10 videos. Did I say 12? I meant to say it's usually $12. But what I'm going to do today, for those that are watching, and if you're interested, I'm going to give the first 3 people that give the hashtag word in a minute here. I don't take the time to write them all down because I just can't get there. But I will go back and I look at the comments and I see the first 3. Actually, I look at them on my screen and then I go back and I pull them out and write them down after that. But if you're interested, and you want my clay course, the first 3 people that put in hashtag Pioneer, I will send you the clay course. You will private message me, and I'll send you the free clay course so you can look at it yourself and see if you want to get involved in working with some polymer clay. Okay? So that's all I need. It's just hashtag clay, hashtag Pioneer, hashtag Pioneer. That's all you got to do. Like I said, I'll go back. Actually, I'll be the one contacting you because I have to go back and see who it is. But I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Yeah, it's going to be a cute little ball. It will be. And like I said, I am going to refire it so that this gets baked in there real good. All right. And I might end up putting another coat, but I sort of kind of like it rustic too. So we shall see. Hashtag Pioneer. Okay, first 3 I see are Terry and Lydia and Jan. Okay, girls, that's the first 3 I see. So I will definitely get with you ladies and get you that. You've been talking about doing it, but oh, you just waited to get it for free is what it is. You don't want to pay for it. Just joking. I'm just messing with you. Okay, so we got that. I got my fan on. I might have to be able to put a little blow on that though, because I don't want it to get stuck to my thing. Hold on, let me do that real quick, guys. Put the heat gun on. I don't think it's fun to be too loud. Okay, interesting to know about polymer clay. If you are painting something in its raw state and you want to dry quicker, don't use the heat gun because it will start activating the clay. When it's dried and you want it to do that, that's fine. But I've actually made a mistake of doing that when I first started working with it, and it started hardening up my clay. And I'm like, oh, I'm not ready for that to happen yet. All right, so that's that part so far. We're going to add more to it. But I wanted to kind of play on the inside. I think the inside's dry. I want to put just a little touch. I'm going to look at my, hold on, I got to look at something here. Yeah, it's kind of what I want to do. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of a small brush here and just give it a little accent with a little bit of black. I think it kind of pop it out a little bit. Then I'm going to switch to the outside again. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to show you how we're going to do the little feet on it because it needs to have a feet because it's a colander. It's actually going to be a colander that you can use. All right, so just a little bit of black touch in here. That's what I'm going for. Accent. And I might want to put a little bit in between my guys here, but I thought maybe if that's too dark, I might end up doing some burgundy, like another dark red instead. Let me see how that looks. If I don't like that, I'll change it. And but on between, because it'll give a little bit of shading effect, but I think that's going to be too dark for me. I don't really like that idea. Yeah, I'm going to go with the darker. I have that Algerian red or whatever it is. Nah, don't worry about that. I'll just add this, a little bit of this on top of that. Although that wouldn't look too bad, honestly. It's kind of blending in all right. But I don't like it. I'm not worried about it because all you got to do is just clean it up a little bit. I'll take it. One of these guys. Baby wipes are our friends, right, ladies? It took a little bit of my paint off, but that's not a problem either. Just put it back on. Yeah, baby wipes will pull everything off on this stuff. But I want to just give it a little bit more shading effect. So what I'm going to do is go back at when I get a chance to go off camera. I'm going to go back and I'm going to clean this up and put a little bit of shading effect in here. I might do a little bit real quick. I still have 15 minutes. Okay, I got 10 minutes. But I want to show you the feet. I want to make sure I show you how to do the feet. Okay. All right. So I'm taking a little bit of this darker tone because I just want to add a little bit of an effect in here to make the petals kind of like give it a shading effect. Okay. And I'll clean it up a little bit better, but that's kind of what I'm doing. And sometimes I use my fingers and all that. Just make it stand out a little bit better in between those petals and kind of draw that out a little bit prettier. Aren't these colors cool? I know, like I said, what inspired me was looking at the poppies. I was trying to think, I knew I wanted to do a flower bowl, but I couldn't decide like what kind of flower. I thought about doing like a white daisy, but then I saw the red and I'm like, ooh, the red. And I kept thinking orange. Like I have some orange bowls from her. And I thought orange because I love orange. And I thought, no, I'm going to stick with this. But yeah, hold up. I need to get some of that back out of there. So like I said, I'll clean this up a little bit better, make it look real pretty inside. You guys get the general gist, okay? Like I said, it looks pretty good on the camera, but to my eye, it needs a little bit of touch. But right now, for the sake of time, I'm going to switch over on the back because I do want to show you the legs. I want to show you how to put, like the legs, the little feet, how I put the little feet on, how I'm going. Lots of different ways you can do the feet. And I think because I have to end up baking this upside down again, so I'm probably going to put a little bit of probably aluminum foil or something here so it doesn't lose its shape. I thought about putting it on top of the bowl again like that, but it's not enough. So I'll probably put a little bit of aluminum foil in here just so it doesn't droop when it's baked, just to make sure. Where's my red? There's my red. Now, here's the legs. What I did I keep calling them legs, but feet, they're more feet. They're not long like legs, they're like feet. Okay, so cute little feet. So what I did here, or what we're going to do, is I have these little clay balls that I already pre-rolled. All right, now I'm going to do four little feet. I'm just going to kind of center them. I'm going to eyeball center them. If you really want to be accurate, you can measure. Okay, I've got paint all over my hands, but what I want to do here is to show you how I created the colors. See, I got like a marbly effect going on with these little guys. I'm going to roll them out a little bit prettier than this, but it's got like an orange marble effect. Basically, what I did is I rolled this out with a little bit of red and a little bit of yellow, and I just mushed them together like that. And when you mush them together, you know, if you want it to be that solid orange color, which was kind of what I'm going for, and I'm like, you know what? I just stopped mushing it because I liked the idea of doing that marbly effect. So I just sort of left it to where I liked it. Once you get it kind of blended in like that, okay, and there you go. And then you can just roll it in between your fingers like that. See, it's kind of cool. Creates that really neat effect. So that's what I'm going for. And I thought about adding white onto it, but it was too tall. I think just the small feet are all I really need. So what I'm going to do here too is, just for the sake of it, since this is an actual, if this was a raw clay, it would probably be a little bit better, but just for extra security, I cut off a little pieces of a dowel, and I'm just kind of inserting the dowel in there and working that around it, because, and this dowel might actually be a little bit too long. And I want to work the dowel into the piece just to kind of give it a little extra, you know, what am I saying? A little extra security that it won't fall. Although I tell you, when this clay, it is a little bit. I'm gonna cut a little bit of that off. When the clay is, man, I need to cut that off. When the clay is baked, it's pretty strong. It's pretty durable. But I just want to make sure that it's got a little extra something in there. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to put a little bit of this on there too. That looks so beautiful. Just painted something. It turned out so adorable. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm just going to put a little dollop of this Sculpey glue on there. And I'm going to put these legs on here, these little feet. Now I'll show you what I'm going to do once I get them on there. I might not, you know what? Screw the dowel thing. I'm not going to do the dowel. Because honestly, the dowel only really works if your clay's raw and it's going into the raw thing. It'll be fine. I've done these feet before. It'll be fine for what it is. But anyway, that was a thought that I changed my mind on. So I've got that one. Put the other two on here, and then I'll show you what I'm doing at the very end before. So this is basically how I'm going to do it. I'll end up baking it like this um, after I get my other design on the outside here. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that for a second. Put these on here. All right. So just stick them on like that. Okay, got little feetsies. Okay. Now, what you want to do is you want to kind of press them a little bit, and you want to make sure that they're going to be even. Like, you know, you don't want to have a bowl that's uneven. So I kind of do like a little bit of a tap, tap like that. Tap it down a little bit and just kind of play with it and make sure it's even. Okay, it's very soft right now. So that little clay, you know, sometimes I've actually pre-baked these things and then put them on there. But you have to make sure that you tap them in there and get them nice and a little bit flat. You want to be flat, and you want to make sure that you're sitting pretty level on your bowl. Okay, so after you do that, then you just basically turn it over, and it's going to be fired that way. But I'm not done with it yet. So I wanted to put a little bit of something on the outside, and I'm not going to be able to finish this up. I've got like 6 minutes left, which is still good, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to put some little colored stamps on the outside of it. You guys remember these? Anybody pick these up from the Dollar Tree? I got these last summer. They're little rubber stamps. I got some ones with birds on them, and these are like my little butterflies and bees and stuff. But I thought this would be kind of cute. I'm just going to stamp the outside of it with the bowl with these. I think it'll be kind of cool. I think I'm going to use white, and yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. But I thought with these guys, I had, you know, they're flat. They don't have anything to hold on to. So I was kind of clever last night. I took hot glue and I made like a teeny little handle like that I could grab it with. I was like, well, what sticks to silicone? Well, I was just experimenting, and the hot glue will stick to a degree. It's not going to be perfect, but I think it'll be enough for me to do what I need to do with this. And of course, if they pull off, they pull off. But it does give you a little bit of handle. That's kind of like a little tip if anybody bought these little guys at the Dollar Tree and they want to see that one already came off already. So, you know, so they're not going to stand. But this one actually, they're holding up pretty good. We'll see how they go. So I'm going to try to do one little stamp with this real quick and see how it goes. Hopefully it won't be too messy. And you can do it one or two ways. You can either, of course, I don't have a white stamp. If you have an ink stamp, that's the best way to go. But I don't have an ink stamp. So you can do it one or two ways. You can put some paint on your paper, whatever you're thinking, and then stamp it that way, you know. Or you could actually brush it on. But make sure you look at it. Make sure you got a good thing right there. Then I'm just going to go with this number. Hope I won't make a big blobby mess. All right. And it didn't stamp very good. Well, so much for that idea. All right. I'm going to try it again. I might have to just put more paint on it. I think that's the deal. But I tried it. I sampled it, and it did pretty good. So I'll just have to go back over and try that again. It will be pretty. I like the white against it. I noticed a lot of her stuff has some sort of white in it. A lot of her designs, she adds a little bit of white. I think I'm just going to paint it on there. I do better with painting it on because it's a little heavier. We'll try it this set. Yeah, and so much for my little great idea with the, what you call it, it didn't stay on. All right, I'm going to redo this. Please, please work. Please, please work. All right, it works pretty good. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to go around with this, and with a couple of these, I've got another little flower and some bees and make some fun little designs on them. And then I'll finish it out like that, and then I'll bake it. Okay, so that is pretty much it. I know it's always a quick run through when I'm doing these things, but the finished product will be quite nice, I think, as always. All right, let me put my camera back up here and to the top so you guys can see me. There we go. Woo. Tell you what, that little hour went fast, didn't it? At least for me it did. All right, so like I said, I'm still debating. I like the white. I like the white idea. Oh, I just put my finger on that. If it don't work, I'll just paint the darn thing over. I'll paint it over with the turquoise and I'll just, or the aqua, and I'll just go, this is actually called, what's it called? Bahama Blue. This is Deco Arts. If I don't like these, I'll just paint it over and maybe I'll do a little something. If not, I might even consider taking little bits of white clay and doing like little dots, like just some little polka dots or something like that on it. I'm just kind of experimenting. That's one thing that's kind of cool about making things with clay is if it doesn't turn out like you like it, just like painting, you can always do it over. It doesn't have to be, set in stone, so to speak, with working with clay. It is a versatile product that you can just, and even if it bakes and something weird happens and you don't particularly care for it, add something else to it, repaint it, make it into something else. You can actually bake it and add other things to it. Say you bake something, you don't like this, and you want to repaint it, paint it over, bake it again. Add a little extra something to it, bake it again. It's okay. It does not hurt it to bake it over and over again. But I think, like I said, once I get a chance to go back and do a little detail work on the inside of it and clean it up and get my little outside done, I think it'll be kind of cute. And like I said, it is like a little functional berry bowl. You will be able to use this, to like wash out some little, I'm thinking like blueberries or strawberries or something like that, just a small little colander because it has the holes in it. Any other questions, guys? I got like 1 minute left. Oh, do not forget, Jan Hauser is coming up. Fine Again Finds Two. She's right after me. You guys definitely got to see her. She's always got something really jamming going on. And all the rest of the girls are going on. How late are we going? I don't remember. Is it 6 to 9? 5, 6, something like that. But thank you, Terry, for watching. And like I said, I'll go back and I'll get you guys the link to my YouTube for the private link for the clay classes. And I hope everybody has a blessed rest of your week and day. And I guess I'll be on, I don't even exactly know, maybe Sunday, I think, again. I'm not sure. But love you all. Take care. Go watch Jan. Refresh, all that good stuff. Bye-bye.